saints, TIs, angels of the Most High. I've got 2 red alerts on here, y'all. I'm going to try to not squawk a lot and just keep it to the 2 things that I need to warn y'all about. First, I believe they're fixing to shut the banks down. For the last 3 weeks, I've been having problems with my bank. I've been having problems with withdrawing money. Things have been blocked. I'm getting weird messages on the phone. Yes, I know our phones are hacked. Our phones are rerouted. I've had the same 2 voices, one woman and one man, for about 8 to 10 years. If I call for an apartment, if I call for a hotel, if I call for a bus route, to find out the bus schedule, if I call for a cab, whatever I'm calling about, a store, anything, it's always the same 2 people. So I'm very aware, not always, but about 8 out of 10 times. I'm very aware that they reroute our phone calls, but this gave my bank greeting and all that, and I ended up giving my information on there, so these satanic freaks have that. But the whole point is I was locked out of using my ATM. Went in, they said everything had been updated. That was the middle of this past week. Then I tried to use it Friday, and it wouldn't work. Call the bank. Got the runaround. They said they couldn't help me at this time. When I said why, she hung up on me. That's right. She hung up on me. Then when I called back, another person actually was more helpful. She said she got everything taken care of, and I was able to get back into my bank, because I'll do stuff online. Then I go down, I make sure the fund is in there because I pay weekly, y'all. And it's in there, so... And thank you to the 2 people that donated. I know y'all don't think what you're sending is much, but it helps me, even if it's just for food. I really appreciate it. So anyway, I would walk 5,000 miles, and I would walk 5,000 more. I walked about 3 miles, which isn't that big of a deal, each way, by the way, to go to the ATM, and it would not allow me to withdraw it. I tried again. It said withdraw a smaller amount. I tried again. It said withdraw a smaller amount. I got a tiny amount out, okay? And I'm not talking, I'm trying to get $500 out. A little bit is all it would allow me. And I thought, well, they're still blocking my card in some way, only allowing me to get a small amount. But another man also said the same thing happened to him. So they are blocking how much we can get out. I believe the banks are going to be shut down soon. With all the problems I've been having, there's a red alert there. And also, I noticed that my ATM expires next month. So they've already got this planned well in advance, okay? So that is a red alert on that. But we're not to have fear because the Most High will provide for us, just like he did the Israelites when they were in the wilderness, right? He provided manna from heaven, and he had Moses. Hold on. He had. I'm trying to do something on this phone that they hack all the time. He had Moses strike the rock with his staff, and water came out. Okay. So speaking of water, that's the second alert that I'm coming on. Most of you on this channel that have been on this channel for a while know I loved New Orleans. It's in my heart, and I lived there for about 20 years off and on. Like I'd live there for 5 years, and I'd leave for 6 months. I'd come back for a year, leave for 6 months, stuff like that. And mostly I would leave because of all the harassment and targeting and just a lot of other stuff. So anyway, whenever the Lord would say, leave, leave. I went through Hurricane Katrina. The Lord guided me out of there 10 days before it became a hurricane. And I warned everybody, only 2 people. And back then I still knew people. I still was allowed to have somewhat friends, but all of them were agents, satanic sellouts, except for 2. One they killed, they shot her in the head. I told y'all about that. And the other one, believed in Yeshua. They both believed in Yeshua. They were the only 2 that believed me, okay, about it because it wasn't even a hurricane. So I'm warning y'all. Father told me about the water. He kept giving me signs about water. I've been making videos about it off and on for about 3 years now, okay? Now it's coming to pass. So they just had an update this was put in my feed, and now I know why New Orleans has been on my heart so much. Well, there's a lot of reasons, okay? But if y'all heard the last video or the one before that, one of the two videos I made in the last 3 days, I was talking about who that say they're going to beat them Saints? Nobody, because we're the end time Saints, okay? But that was funny enough, out of all the teams' name, that was my team, okay? Living there for years and years. And Father also showed me about Drew Brees, the quarterback for years and years. Father drew his breeze. He's sending the whirlwind. The 4 angels holding back the winds on the 4 corners of the earth are being dispatched. I've been telling y'all that in increments, okay? So this has been going on since the beginning of the year. That boy, they're mad now. They're slamming doors and stomping and letting their dog bark. But they're not going to stop me. They're not going to stop the move of the Most High God. So whatever he tells me to say, whatever he tells me to do, I do it. So here's what Father's warned me is that when the New Madrid fault line breaks, the water will be pushed from up by Memphis where it is. I'm all shook up, even that, a great shaking, right? And it's going to go straight down through the Mississippi River and flush out New Orleans, which is already under sea level. It's like a bowl. Okay, so getting back to Hurricane Katrina. So I left 10 days before it became a hurricane. It was just raining. It was just a tropical storm, but I knew Father's voice. Now, Father didn't tell me to pack up everything, okay? He just told me to get a week's worth of clothes, and that's what I did. And I thought, okay, it'll just be like a mini vacation. I don't know where I'm going. He guided me all the way around. That's a whole nother story. A lot of miracles happened when this went down, but who thinks that after a disaster like that, you can't go back into the city? Well, I don't think any other place has ever had this. But they strategically did this to see how people would react, okay? And to kill as many as they can. So they entrapped people in the Superdome. I know y'all heard about that. And my ex-boyfriend also they killed. And they took his body to LSU to look at it, to, I guess, to see how their devices killed him. He was found flat out on his yard. He was super healthy. He had his own carpentry business, really, really healthy, and he was in his early 50s. This just happened it was in 2018, okay? And because he was one of my only ever boyfriends, and I've never been married, y'all, so I might have had a few boyfriends, that was not a gang stalker, that didn't sell out. They destroyed his life. They turned his daughter against him. They destroyed his driving privileges, destroyed his company, and made him basically destitute. But he didn't kill himself, so they killed him, okay? Why the Most High didn't protect him, I don't know. I think it was because he wasn't seeking Father, but he did believe in Yeshua, okay, y'all? He did believe, but he wasn't following Yeshua. And he was living willfully in sin by it. He wasn't a bad person. He just had a drinking problem, which a lot of people in New Orleans do, okay? But he was a very kind-hearted man. So I'm praying that he got to go home. Anyway, getting back to Katrina. I had 2 friends that I trust that were both very poor. And one lived in the 7th Ward where I used to live, which is also known as St. Roch area. It's about, if y'all know the French Quarter, which most people know Bourbon Street, it's about a mile from Bourbon Street, okay? And it's a poor area. And then the other area is the poorest in the ghetto, but a lot of nice, genuine people that aren't sellout monsters lived there, and that's called the 9th Ward. Those were destroyed, okay? Here's where the 2 friends lived, one in the 7th Ward, one in the 9th Ward. They both heard the levees blow. This is after the hurricane passed New Orleans. It missed New Orleans and hit Mississippi, all right? And y'all can do research, but I know some of y'all on here that are truly called by the Most High. Anyone that has the Holy Spirit knows I'm telling y'all the truth. They blew the levees, okay? Who blew them? The Army Corps of Engineers, but they're not spelled Corps. They're spelled C-O-R-P-S. Why do you think that is? Because they're telling you what they're doing. They're creating corpses. That's right, corpses. They're doing spells. What do you think spelling is? Spelling bees, the hive mind. They're doing spells, rituals with the English language, okay? It's the mystery Babylon. Remember when Father had enough of them building a tower, the Tower of Babel, up to heaven, trying to sneak in through the wide gate, and he destroyed it, and then he mixed everyone's language. That's why it's called babbling when you speak a bunch of nonsense. That's what the English language is. It's a bunch of babble. Hidden words that spell, they cast spells. So that's what the core, CORPS, corpse of engineers did. They blew the levees. Old Push into George Bush, that reptilian sleestack creature, he flew over New Orleans while everybody is gathered by the Superdome. People's bodies are floating around in neighborhoods. And he waved over. Ah, oh, you need some water. Some water. Here you go. Here you go. Here's some water. And they dumped out maybe, I don't know, a few bottles of water for thousands of people. Didn't rescue anybody. My ex-boyfriend that I just talked about that they killed, they murdered, he took his fishing boat, just an old John boat. He's just a good old boy, good old Cajun boy that wasn't part of the system and cared about people and was a true heart. He took his John boat along with several other people I know. So that was Scott Goche, Mike Darby, and a few other ones. And they went around, they siphoned gas. Oh my gosh, they stole gas. Yes, it was a national disaster. And you think our government helped? Right. Y'all need to wake up if you think your governing of the mental is going to help you. They're not. They're the ones murdering you. Wake up. Anyway, they went around, they had to siphon gas out of vehicles or whatever to get gas for their boats and rescued people off their roofs. Where was our government? They couldn't even come in, drive in, and then launch the boats from the freeways where people were trying to get out. National Guard blocked people in going over the West Bank and shot 4 of them because they were trying to escape. That's right. That's what your government did. And that was in 2005. That was... My math skills aren't that great, y'all. I skipped that class. That was 18 years ago. Okay? So what do you think they're doing now? They're doing the same clown show, but worse. They've ramped it up because no one, well, there was a few, but a minority, a small amount spoke up for the truth and tried to warn people. And we're on the abomination of desolation hit list. We're targeted. Our lives are destroyed. We're made isolated and homeless and lied about and stalked and spied and harassed and falsely accused, falsely imprisoned for crimes we didn't commit. Some of us had our driving privileges, which isn't a privilege. You shouldn't have to have a driver's license. You should be able to freely travel. But these clowns lock everything down. Anyway, they put us on a hit list and destroy our lives and keep us constantly monitored. Well, the joke's on you, gang stalkers that sold out, that encamp around me morning, noon, and night, that pretend you're neighbors, but you move in to harass and stalk me all day, and the rest of the chosen individuals, chosen by the Most High God, hated by the world. Your time is almost up, and your government lying, spying, stalking freaks aren't going to help you. They're using you, you pansies, and you're going to go into the pit. But enough of that, okay? Enough of that. I'm just mad because of what they're doing. And no one's seeing it except the few, the remnant. And we're the outcasts. I'm blocked on this channel. No one gets through except for y'all that have been on this channel since years ago. Or if the Most High allows it to come through, which there's only a remnant, 10%. The rest on this channel are all satanic spies, witches, liars, Freakmasons, Nazis, governing of the mental. What does that mean, government? It means they're governing your mental thoughts. They're controlling people with the 5 kill towers and everything else. They poison the skies, they poison the water, they poison the food, they poison your mind. They poison your mind with the television, with the cell phone zombies and everything else. Y'all better wake up and get out of the satanic system because it's about to be flushed into the pit with all those workers of iniquity. Okay, so getting back to this. So now they're having this. So this just popped up on my feed, so I'm going to play it. Hold on. Hold on.
Officials say there is no need to do that. Meg Ferris is back from talking to some of the people at those stores.
Let me rewind it again.
And Sharice, you just heard an hour ago.
Okay, it won't let me rewind it. My phone is so hacked, y'all. If y'all saw the stuff I had to go through just to make a phone call. And I know y'all are going to say, get another phone. It doesn't matter. They do it to every phone, every laptop, any electronics I have. Who's the prince of the airway? Satan, Lucifer, the lying loser, trying to get me to be a boozer. Okay. Anyway, I'm trying not to be mad. This is just, it's heart-wrenching because nobody listens. They think we're insane. That's how brainwashed these people are. The people that are spreading truth are on a hit list by our satanic freaks that run this country, Mystery Babylon, and we're blocked from getting the truth out. Just like they did to Yeshua. They called Yeshua crazy. They called all the disciples crazy. They were all targeted individuals. We're in good company, remnant. Okay.
Drinking water as people rushing to the stores, as we just heard, to stock up on bottled water. But government officials say there is no need to do that. Meg Ferris is back from talking to some of the people at
It's Louisiana.
Joining us now with more. Meg and Sharice, you just heard an hour ago the governor said no need to panic. There's enough drinking water.
Sorry. They're hacking it right now. No need to panic. And boy, they don't want this up. So y'all heard that. No need to panic, the governor said. Who is our governor? Well, not my governor anymore. I'm not there, but I still feel like that's my home. Who's the governor? Well, I'm glad you asked. His name is John Bell Edwards. Bell, as in Baal, as in Baal worship, Satanism. He's a wicked, evil man. And he's going to get the can. Now they turn the sound off. I'm not even joking, y'all. This is ridiculous. Look, y'all think I'm kidding? The sound's all the way up. Look, but there's no sound. And this goes on every time I use my phone. Something happens. Well, I'm exaggerating. Not every time, but at least every other time. Oh, so now they've deleted it. So now I got to go back in. Sorry, y'all. Wow. I might just put the link down there since now they've hacked into the phone and now here it is.
Saltwater threatening drinking water as people rushing to the stores, as we just heard, to stock up on bottled water.
Saltwater drinking water is contaminating the water. Okay.
And news of saltwater threatening drinking water as people rushing to the stores, as we just heard, to stock up on bottled water. But government officials say there is no need to do that. Meg Ferris is back.
Y'all want to believe these monsters? Be my guest. See what happens.
And Sharice, you just heard an hour ago the governor said no need to panic. There's enough drinking water. All the infrastructure is still in place to get us water if we need some. But still, here's what we...
Sorry. It'll get through somehow. I'm going to get this. Father, I ask you to help me get this out in Yeshua's name.
We saw today. Usually when the
Thank you, Father.
away, people who are making
The saints are away. Now, how funny is that?
alcohol, but not this weekend.
They have to say alcohol. Got that red on there. Let me rewind that. This is my first time seeing this. All I heard was the first part, and I'm like, I got to put this out. All I heard was the first part. Salt water, drinking water could be contaminated. But the governor says, don't worry. Tricks are for kids, silly stalkers.
Because they said we're not going to have nothing with salt water, and I need something.
And these people believe they're a clown show government. It's a joke. That's why they muzzled on up to the east side. But they're not going to a deluxe apartment in the sky, 'cause they believe the lie of the Satanist. And beans will fry in hell. The chickens will roast on the grill. All right, y'all. And now the sound's off again.
Is back from talking to some of the people at those stores. Joining us now with more. Meg and Sharice, you just heard an hour ago the governor said no need to panic. Enough drinking water. All the infrastructure.
Believe Bell. Believe the bull.
We need some, but still, here's what we saw today.
Believe the tranny goat.
Usually when the saints are away, people who are making groceries fill their baskets with snack foods and alcohol.
Red.
Not this weekend.
Red.
They say we're not going to have nothing but salt water, and I need something to drink. Do what you got to do, you know, when things get tough.
At the
Red.
Walmart in Bell Chase, it is
Bromart.
water
I used to go there, but not that one. I went to the one on Magazine Street.
So we need to get the water so that we can have fresh water for our cooking.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, y'all. This is ridiculous. And I've deleted stuff off my storage. There shouldn't be any problem with the storage. It's just anything to block me. If it doesn't work this time, I'm just going to put the link because y'all are getting the gist of it.
Are you supplier?
Washing our faces and brushing our teeth. So
I have a couple of cases at home, but I also have pets that if the salt water does get in,
Listen to the honking.
I don't want to be feeding my pets bad water.
Trying to drown her out.
Managers say
Red.
only 4 to 5
Look at all the red, y'all.
weekend.
Pay attention.
They're putting out 38.
Pay attention to all the red. This is my first time seeing it.
Your demand?
And I'm seeing all this red.
We've gotten everything that we've ordered and more. They've been very helpful.
At the Costco, people waited in a long line for their stash of H2O.
I'm just going to leave
The
it.
Sam's in Harvey, it's a different story.
they have been out since early this morning.
Red.
Nothing on the store shelves. Don't know when they're gonna get anything in. We got a lady right by the door. If y'all coming for water, don't bother coming in. It was empty. There was nothing there.
Are y'all seeing all the red they have? Okay, y'all get it. I'm not going to play anymore, but I guarantee you the whole thing, it's a 3-minute clip. I'll put it in the description or in the comments if y'all want to check it out. And I haven't even watched the rest of it, and I can bet you the people are wearing red, the vehicles are red, everything in the background is red. Why is that? Well, we who have been targeted and harassed our entire lives, notice everyone around always wears red. I'm not saying every other person. I'm saying every person, wherever you go. The vehicles that stalk me are usually 9 out of 10 times they're black. And then the second color would be red, and the third color is white. Those are Freemason Nazi signs, Nazi colors. Those are Templar Knight colors. Those are Satan's colors, okay? Red was worn by the Nazis. Red was worn by the Templar Knights. Red was worn by the Roman soldiers that crucified Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And red is worn by our persecutors. Why red? I asked Father, because it's a trigger color. You notice it before any other color. If you see red, it triggers, okay? Red also, you can do like studies on colors. Red promotes anger. They want people that are targeted to become angry so they can try to trigger them into doing something. But we who have the Holy Spirit have restraint, okay? The worst I'll do is say, y'all need to repent or you're going into the pit. I've done that, okay? But it's when Father tells me this one say it to, this one don't, okay? But we have a peace that passes all understanding. Even if I'm riled up right now like I am, I'm still at peace, y'all. I have peace in my heart, believe it or not, and I have joy, but I also have passion. I have passion for the people that are being lied to. I have passion for my state, Louisiana. These are, a lot of them are hardworking people. They just wanted to have fun. New Orleans was a city that was built on like joy and uniqueness, being your own person. That's why the houses are all painted different colors, or were. They ruined most of them, okay? Except for the quarter. And it has a special place in my heart, and the people are all about like living life joyful. You help your neighbor. After Katrina, we got together, people congregated together, and you have this, you need this, what do you need? And we weren't allowed back in for 3 months, but when people started coming back in, there was like a bond between some of us. And unfortunately, they destroyed that with the scamdemic because every single person that I know took it. Every one of them. And every single one of them, well, I take that back. There was one person, but I wasn't good friends with him. Actually, 2 people, they weren't good friends. I'm going to say every person that I knew, like I hung out with or, was my neighbor before they became stalkers, because I'd been there way back before I was awake, okay? So I didn't know. I've been in New Orleans since 2019. 2019. Golly, what was it? 2001. 2001 is when, but I went there the first time in that's why I couldn't remember it, y'all. I'm bad with math. I skipped that class now. In 1999. Gonna party like it's 1999 was the first time I lived there, but then I went back to my home state, and then I came back again, and then I stayed. So it's 2001, and it was way before I was awake. I always knew something wasn't right. I always believed in Jesus, always. I knew Father, and I was always guided, but I was still like seeking, and I wasn't living right. So anyway, and not that I'm perfect now. I told y'all a month ago I slipped up and went back into sin. But I also had some witches gathered around and even inside the camp, all right? Doing spells to try to get me to drink, as well as a lot of other wickedness. So, but I wasn't doing it habitually. Like, it could have led back into that because it opened the door. But as soon as this person left, it's like the witchcraft spirit that was on her went. The demons and all that went. And I'm praying for this person, by the way. But I still have witches all around me, y'all. All day and night. But anyway, getting back to this, I have a special place in my heart for New Orleans. It's just a city that, man, we used to have parties out in the street just for no reason. And it wasn't even about getting drunk or anything like that. It was dancing in the street and eating really good food, and Kermit Ruffins and the barbecue swingers is one of my favorite memories. I'll just tell y'all a short memory. I'd only been living there a couple years, and again, I wasn't awake then, and I went to this outside party in the street where they had this awesome musician, Kermit Ruffins. He's a jazz musician, and he had a barbecue pit, one of those big ones, a smoker, and he had a pickup truck, and then he had a flatbed trailer on the back where he did the barbecue on the trailer. Physically drove the truck with the barbecue, and then he made barbecue for everybody, and we would hang out in the street and then go into this little club called Govn's. It looks like a dilapidated old building, old house, but it's so pretty in there. It's really charming. It's got the old wood and all that, and decorated all the time with cute little lights and all this stuff. And he would sing, and he was really good. He became very famous, but back then he would give the barbecue out for free. And it was like regular barbecue, and then you'd have turkey necks, you'd have boudin, all that kind of stuff. And then in between sets, everybody would spill out into the street. No cars would come down there. It was allowed. We were allowed to do that. Back in the day, then, of course, they ruined that. They slowly in increments started locking people down more and taking away more fun, more rights, more freedom. Until now, we're living the movie 1984. That's what happened in New Orleans. They locked everything down. New Orleans was one of the most strict cities, other than New York, and I think it was LA, for the lockdown. Why? Why there? Well, New York, we know because it is a portal, a wicked portal, but New Orleans also has a portal, okay? And I believe LA does. What is Los Angeles? City of Lost Angels. The fallen angels. They have portals in these areas, so they lock them down, okay? And I went around the city because I live by myself on a bicycle just trying to find one person outside to talk to. Nobody came out. I knocked on someone's door that I knew, like not a good friend, but a person that I hung out with from time to time that was a chef, a fun-loving guy, okay? Knocked on his door. He had bars on his door because we live in the hood. This actually happened by St. Roch, and it's the 7th Ward. We call it St. Roch. Knock on his door, and I thought he was going to be so excited somebody came to his door because nobody was out and everything was shut. He would not open, and he knows me like the back, well, not the back of your hand, but he knows me really well, right? He's one of these fun-loving guys that had a gumbo pot outside of this bar where his friend owned. And he had the gumbo pot outside making gumbo for free for people just because he loved people. He loved food. He loved to have fun. And he would stir it with an oar from his boat. That's what a cool person this was. But the you know what turned him into a fearful, hateful thing. A creature scared to go out in the light, okay? So there's bars on his door and then the door behind it. So you open the wood door and then the next door you open again and that's got bars on it. There's separate doors, okay? Like it's a barred gate that opens with a handle. So he opens the wood door and I go, hey, I'm not going to say his name in case he's watching, even though I didn't tell any of the people there, this channel. But I go, hey, like that. And he just stared at me. My dad had just died like a week before, and I just didn't want to be by myself. I was alone, okay? And my dad died 2 days before the scamdemic lockdown. So anyway, I was just wanted to see somebody and get my mind off of it. And I went, hey, like that. And he goes, Lena, I can't talk right now. And I said, well, I don't need to come in. Just come out and hang out for a little bit. And he goes, I can't, the virus, and shut the door on me, y'all. And I had many other sad things. I had another friend. I used to go to her house sometimes, okay? I know where she lives. Now, this girl, I didn't go knock on her door. She lived like, maybe 2 miles from the main part of New Orleans by the CBD. Anyway, long story short. And months later, I'm going to say a year later, not months later. I left New Orleans about a month after the scamdemic, and then I came back a year later just to take care of some things and just see everybody. And I saw her, and I hadn't seen her since the scamdemic started, and I was so excited to see her. And it was her and her boyfriend, and they were sitting outside this neighborhood bar where people congregate inside a neighborhood. It's an old house that was turned into a bar, okay? And all the neighborhood people used to hang out there. And I saw her too, and I said, hey, I'm not going to say her name either. I go, hey, and we used to hug. She would hug me. And I thought she was going to go, Lena, you're back or whatever, because I'd been gone for a year. Instead, she put her hands up like this and shook, and she goes, no, like that. And I go, what? And then her boyfriend goes, she's just scared to get the virus. You can't touch her. Yeah, that's what happened. She took it, okay? He didn't. He wasn't scared. He ended up giving me a hug. That was one of the 2 people of all the people in New Orleans, and I knew a lot of people, y'all, that didn't take it. But I said everyone I knew took it, and what I meant by that is everyone that I was like closer friends with, like my closer friends. But I know all of them were being used by the enemy as well, and that's why they took it. So that's the whole point of this story is, look what they've already done, okay? So these people are under heavy mind control. So Father is just saying to warn those who you can. The words I get is, save as many as you can. So I'm putting out the warning, if you are anywhere in Louisiana or anywhere where they're having water, anything done with the water, like where they blew up, here comes a flyby right now, a chappa. Give me the chappa coppa. Anywhere where they're saying the water's safe to drink after there's been an explosion at a refinery, I'm sure y'all can hear it, it's going right over the house, where they've blown up the trains. Yes, that's right. You don't think if they blew up the levees, they're not the ones blowing up the trains. Hello, McFly, are you in there? They're liars. They work for the father of lies, Lucifer, the lying loser, trying to get me to be a boozer. Anyway, but let me wrap this up, y'all. I made this longer than I was going to. Don't trust them. Get as much bottled water as you can. If you can leave Louisiana, I would leave because I believe it's about to be destroyed, and I'm very, very sad. I don't want to say that, but what I've been shown in multiple dreams and warnings from Father is that when the New Madrid breaks, it's going to go straight down and flush out New Orleans, and New Orleans will be underwater. So I'm praying for all y'all. We're not to have fear, but we're supposed to be alert. We're supposed to watch at all times, and we're supposed to warn. So I'm sounding the alarm. Be on guard. I believe they're going to shut the banks down pretty soon. You're not going to be able to buy or sell without the MOTB. I've already been living it. I can't rent anywhere. I only can get like weekly things or stuff like that, or live in hotels and tear out the walls. No. And then they surround me there. They tamper with the air conditioner. Y'all know that the last hotel I was in, they tampered with not one, not two, but 3 air conditioners in 3 different rooms at 2 separate. One was in one hotel and 2 in another hotel, where they put toxic mold, and then they sprayed leaf blower stuff with fumes in it. I got it on video. It's in some old videos from like 4 or 5 months ago. Okay, and these are things they do. So a lot of us that are on this channel, the 10% remnant, the true believers in Yeshua, the followers of the Most High God, you know who you are. You know what they do. So we've already been living it. We're prepared. And I've been telling y'all since I started this channel 7 years ago, this October. Wow! 7 years in October. Wow, the 7-year tribulation. What? Oh, snap! That we are going to be leaders in the new. We're going to be able to, people are going to be freaking out. A lot of people are going to kill themselves, okay? And they already have been, because they don't know what's going on. They can't handle it. You can't handle the truth. And that's the truth. They can't handle it. Okay? But we've already been through all this our entire life. So we're going to be able to help those that Father sends to us or sends us to. Okay? So anyway, I just wanted to give that red alert, and I've got some things to do today, but I've got a lot more that I want to share. I'm just trying to keep it to 1 or 2 subjects on each video instead of talking about a whole gaggle of stuff. And I'm praying for all y'all. Also, while I'm thinking about it, can y'all please send up extra prayers for Sister Jeannie Hardesty? She's having health problems, y'all. We really need your prayers. Jeannie Hardesty. Some of y'all remember her channel. She got struck with the X marks the spot twice, and she ended up getting sick of it on YouTube. So her channel's still up, but she hadn't uploaded in about a year. But you can find her on BitChute. But I can't remember the name of her channel. Why don't you just tell me the name of her channel? I want to say it's Jeannie Hardesty Loves Jesus or something, but type in Jeannie Hardesty if you're looking for her, and you can probably find her on BitChute. But please lift her up in prayers. Yeah, she's not doing good, and I haven't asked her if I can disclose what it is, so I'm just going to say lift her up for supernatural healing from the Most High God, that she will be made completely well in Yeshua's name. And I'm praying for all of y'all. It's anytime, y'all. We got to be out of here soon. Oh, one more thing. The 29th is a full moon. That's also on a Friday. And Father showed me and has showed me recently with them blocking me from using my ATM or being able to get into my account at all. It happened both times for me on a Friday evening. I believe that could be when they're going to do it, because it's also a full moon next Friday. And I think I don't want to say this because I won't say it, but I think it could be Yom Kippur. I'm not sure on that, y'all, but I do know it's a full moon. And they like to do rituals on full moons. And it is a Friday. And they'll shut it down so that people don't have anything for the weekend either. Everybody's freaking for the weekend.